Yo, it's your boy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and I'll be breaking down Cody Garbrandt, no love, versus Kai Car France. Don't blink. Really, really dope fight in the, I guess, flyweight division. There's a lot of aspects about this fight that really, really intrigues me. I mean, one guy's coming off a L, the other guy's coming off a win. Both guys are kind of a little on a bit of a win loss kind of situation. Cody's on a different kind of situation. As last five, he's 1-4. Yeah, 1-4 actually, which is crazy. I mean, you can take the two losses he got against the cheater Snake, because the boy did that EPO. But I mean, it still doesn't matter. It's still a loss is a loss. But yeah, I mean, this is a really, really big fight for Cody Garbrandt and a big fight for Kai Car France. And it's a big fight for the flyweight division. They get a legit superstar in their division. Let's see where these guys are ranked in their respective divisions. I'm pretty sure Cody's maybe in the top five, probably not. Okay, Cody Garbrandt number 7, Kai Car France number 6. So kind of cool matchmaking right there. I like that. I have no problem with that. But yeah, there's no real storyline behind this. It's just almost like Cody's introduction in the flyweight division. You know, he was supposed to get a title shot last year against Figueiredo, if people remember, after beating Rafael Assunção. So there's a lot of aspects to this fight that people don't realize that are very, very big. I do think Cody Garbrandt does get a title shot. Just my personal opinion. I do think Dana White loves that Cody Garbrandt money train, and I think he wants to cash out on a Cody Garbrandt main event. So hey, it is what it is. For him versus Brandon Moreno is a pretty big fight. Or Figueiredo, they might get that one back if Figgy wins the trilogy. We're gonna see. But yeah, let's talk about the stats and where these guys match up. I mean, Kai Car 22-9, fights at Auckland, New Zealand, age 28, a height of 5'4", and reach 66.5. Garbrandt 12-4, fights out of Sacramento, California, and is doing some of his training camp, I think, in New Jersey, right? Height of 5'8" and reach 65.5. So France, or Kai, I'll call him Kai, has a bit of a reach advantage. I mean, damn near every person that fucking Cody fights has a reach advantage, but Cody will have a distinct size advantage. You will see it. Cody is, I know a lot of people like to say, I know when we talk about this fight, it's going to be really around the weight cut. A lot of people like to talk about how Cody got like smaller legs, and when Cody fought TJ was actually the bigger person. And I'm sorry. I mean, maybe TJ was the bigger person, and there is some science behind it. There's probably facts behind that. But when I look at just doing the eye test, right? You look at TJ Dillashaw, you look at Cody Garbrandt is a lot more muscular. And I know a lot of muscular guys can probably cut weight easier, right? That's what, you hold water a lot better. But like, he just looks in great shape already. Now, his abs never really showed when he was at bantamweight, but at flyweight, you look at the pictures. If you've seen him, he looks shredded, right? He already looks at like fucking 1% body fat, right? And that's crazy, and it is what it is. And Cody was never the most durable person in the world, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how his body deals with the weight cut at 125. But I mean, it's just crazy to me that Cody is making this drop. But when Cody does fight Kai Car France is a legitimate flyweight. It's going to look like he is fighting his father in there. I promise you. When Kai fights Cody will look humongous compared to mine. It's gonna be crazy. When the weigh-ins happen, hey, I'm not gonna say I told you so, but you will see Cody will look humongous compared to this man. I will. He looked bigger than I remember at weigh-ins, he looked bigger than fucking what's his face, Fawn. So you guys are gonna see it. But that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it really doesn't. Size is not going to play a factor, because both of these guys are going to weigh in the same amount on weighing day. And yeah, Cody can inflate to how big he wants to do, but 24 hours is all he got to recover from that weight cut, and sometimes that's not going to be enough for him. He's 30 years old, right? He's an experienced guy. He's a former world champion, but we're gonna see. I have a lot of questions about it. I mean, it's so crazy. what cracks me up is he's following in the goddamn footsteps of his arch nemesis, T.J. Dillashaw. But I guess they're very confident. But TJ was very confident. Like I'll never forgive TJ. And I know everyone's like, well, he cut so much weight, bro. Like you got to give him a pass for the Cejudo fight. But like, listen to the guy how he was talking before the fight. He was talking like, I have the science, I have this and that. And I hear Cody Garbrandt talking about how many goddamn miles he runs on his bike, and it's like, bro, like that's not gonna help your chin, that's not gonna help you. And France ain't. Here's the thing. When it comes down to this fight, in my humble, before I talk about the notable wins and stuff, I don't really need to go too far into their resumes. I think we know who these guys have beat. But when I talk about this fight, I mean, it really comes down to, what do you here trust in? Do you trust Cody's resume and his ability, his skill, his speed, the fact that he was a former champion, the fact that he did what he did to legend Dominic Cruz? Or do you trust the fact that the weight cut looks really, really bad on Cody and looks like he will die if a goddamn pebble hit his chin? And that's what it comes down to. Are you on the side of, Cody's lack of durability and going with, Kai Kara-France, or you with Cody and you're looking at his, his ability, his skill, his speed, his boxing, his overall abilities? I mean, Cody could take a wrestling approach, when I think about it. But these guys, if you ever heard of someone say this, we are not the same. These guys are not the same. I mean, it's night and day on who these guys have fought. I mean, Cody Garbrandt has fought, a killer's row of fighters. And you just look at the guys, man. I mean, Rob Font, he's a fucking murderer. I have not watched Rob fight Jose Aldo. I don't know if he's going to lose or win, so it is what it is. I ain't picking Aldo on that one, so but I don't know what's going to happen in that one. So if he loses, all right, it is what it is. But if he wins, hey, still, I'm sorry, still a great fighter. Beat Rafael Assunção, knocked him, to another dimension. Lost to Pedro Munoz, lost to TJ Dillashaw, and lost to TJ Dillashaw twice, right? Beat Dominic Cruz and beat Mizugaki, Thomas Almeida. He's fought some legit bantamweights. I know a lot of people might, diss Mizugaki and Almeida, but those guys were really big dudes at bantamweight. And, in terms of where they were ranked and, what they meant to the division. And beating Dominic Cruz, he's a legend of the game, beating Assunção, another legend of the game. We're going to see how Assunção does against Ricky Simón and see how shot he really is. But, he knocked him the F out. But yeah, it is what it is. And my point is Cody, I truly believe if any of these guys had an opportunity to fight Kai Kara-France, they would blow him out the water. Maybe Kai might have a chance against a burnt up Assunção, but I still think Assunção would beat him. Sorry, y'all, man. I'm still recovering from the sickness. But if we look at what Kai Kara-France has accomplished, it's like his last victory was pretty cool. I'll give him that. The Ruggiero Bontero victory was, that was a good finish. The guy took his back for the damn the whole fight and almost choked him the F out. But let's look at the guys he's Sorry for the interruption, but like I was saying, let's look at the resume of a guy like Kai Kara-France. He's beating guys like Paiva, Mark De La Rosa, Tyson Nam, and Bontero, right? Like I was just saying. But yeah, a lot of those guys I wouldn't say are, ain't nowhere near Cody Garbrandt's level. And you look at the guy, losing to Brandon Moreno, that's the world champion, so there's no shame in that. But Brandon Moreno styled on him and made him look like a fool. It's like, it is what it is. And then the Brandon Royval fight, I'll never forgive him for that. I picked him in that fight. He let me down big time. I've never been so disappointed in a human being, ever. Ever. What he did in there is a disgrace to Abu Dhabi. He made Brandon Royval look like fucking... like a young Anderson Silva. I don't even know how to compare it. And you saw what Brandon Moreno and especially my boy Pantoja did to this dummy. All right, so I can never forgive Kai Kara for that one. So, I mean, I'm gonna cut it short here. I've seen it's hard to say who's the bigger dummy out of the two in terms of fight IQ. I mean, Cody Garbrandt takes the cake sometimes, but I mean, Cody Garbrandt is better than Kai Kara France in a lot of areas. Maybe you could say Kai Kara France is a better kicker. You could say that, but Cody got some pretty good kicks, so it is what it is. Cody could just out wrestle this dude. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody completely changed up who he is as a fighter and just shocks Kai Kara. But I mean, Cody Garbrandt should win this fight without a shadow of a doubt. I think he has better stand up. He has better wrestling. He's better fight IQ. I think he has better fight. I mean, he stuck with the game plan against Rob Font, even though he was getting lit up all day. But I mean, he's just better than France. And anyone that thinks that France is gonna knock this dude out, man, you better fucking hope that man Cody almost dies at the scales. Because if he comes at 110%, I mean, that don't blink nickname, I mean, that man will be blinking on the ground after Cody lays him out, twitching. So I got to go with Cody Garbrandt by second round TKO. I think he's going to get him out of there. I think he's going to feel him out a little bit. But, yeah, I got to go Cody Garbrandt, second round TKO. I just think he's the better fighter overall. I mean, France he's durable. He is durable. I haven't seen him get knocked out. I don't think he's ever been knocked out before. I mean, he got dropped bad against Royval. He got dropped bad. But I don't think he's ever been knocked out cold. I don't think so. Yeah, he's only been choked out. Oh, he has been knocked out. He lost to Augustin Damero Jr. in 2012 via punches. It was one of his third fight ever as a professional. Legend FC8. So he has been knocked out before. So I think Cody Garbrandt's going to take advantage of that weakness. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Got to go Cody Garbrandt. Got to go with my boy. And yeah, I got him. I got Garbrandt by second round TKO. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. All those links will be down below in the description box. Follow me on all those things. And yeah, if you're new, subscribe, like, comment, share the video. Let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all and goodbye.
He's not a good shot taker.
Hanging with the boys. Where's Greed on that sexy Lexi? I want a sexy Lexi. I'm man. You know it. Hanging with the boys. Hanging with the boys. Good. Good. We're hanging with the boys.